Welcome to the show. Who's up next? Sunday, 10 a.m. Yeah. We check. Big fella in the chair. King talk, big glare. Gorilla Army in the air. We all there. We all there. West Coast clock on 10. Pacific time we tap in. Best stories, best jams, real ones, not pretend. Welcome to the Who's Up Next show. Turn it up, let the whole block know. Big fella got the mic, it's a go. Gorilla Army in the building, say whoa. Highlights hitting like a straight right blow. Interviews heavy, every question on goal. If you really wanna see who gon' blow, tune in, this the Who's Up Next show. Lights on, cameras tight. New star born live on sight. Big fella ass once talk right. We talk grind, we talk fight. Came from nothing, now they shine. Clip that moment, freezing time. Run it back, headline every Sunday, same time. Welcome to the Who's Up Next show. Turn it up, let the whole block know. Big fella got the mic, it's a go. Gorilla Army in the building, say whoa.
Hey, welcome to the Who's Up Next show. It's a crazy morning. Definitely trying to catch my vibe. It's been a rough week. I know posts have been going up. I got a great interview coming up with a mother-son duo that definitely should add some flair to the show for today and talk about some conversations that I definitely feel we should. And that a lot of you families out there get some information that you truly need about the recruiting process. Obviously, the week just has been a week. We lost a few of the Guerrilla Army 17-year-olds that passed away. Speaking to the parents and the community, I've eulogized people that have passed away for friends and family before on this show, and I'm normally not speechless in what I try to do, but this one just hit different. It definitely made me go back to the drawing board about why I do what I do. Right? I always say that the Who's Up Next show is the people show. That the Guerrilla Army it's about the Army. It's not about the big fella. And it hit me so much this week that that's so true, right? What I do is bigger than me, and it's important. And I think I understood the responsibility, but I didn't understand it enough. When one parent reached out and wanted to get because one kid, Jake had been on my show. He had been in the magazine with Trepium, different things, and these are now memories for his parents. I truly understood the assignment that when we are giving exposure to these young athletes, to these coaches, to these parents, to these educators, we may be one of the last memories that their family members have of them if something ever happens, as a moment in time that brought them joy. And that weighed on me this week. Like, that weighed on me. I had some nights where I was restless, just trying to figure out how I felt about it and what I was going to do today, and putting these things together. I'm me, I'm gonna go all the way out. I'm gonna make sure I pull every string possible to make sure that what we do for them is great. But at the same time, I just want it to be understood that it's always my pleasure. Like this is it's I always tell parents of these kids that it's my pleasure to have them on this show. It's my honor. You guys made them. I just get a chance to showcase them and put them out there for everybody to see them, but you made them. You're their community. I just get to play a small part. It's one that I'm super honored to do. And I hope that I always do it in the best light and in the best way. Jake, Shayla, I got information about, and we hadn't had a chance to speak. And then with Jake is different. Jake is one of those kids that he just wanted to make it. He just wanted, like, I wish every kid had the little Jake in him. You know what I'm saying? This kid, he bugged he bugged me for like 6 months, 7 months. We just kept getting messages and messages and messages. Can I get in? Can I do this? Can I do that? And just want to, like, just promote himself in every way possible, just to make his family proud and to just make his dreams come true. And then when we finally got a chance to link up, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Great interview. And then when I got a chance to see his film, I'm looking at the film and I'm like, yo, he was the first person that I've ever done a comparison with, because immediately when I watched him play, I thought of Jay Will, you know what I'm saying? Jason Williams from back in the day, right? And just comparison of point guard to point guard, the way they played the game, the way they approached the game, the methodology that they thought of when they were doing their job. It was like watching two twins. And so um, it's crushing. I think this is the hardest part of the job, right? Is, it's going to happen. No different than every graduating class, there's a set of kids that are never going to play the game anymore, whatever sport it is they're in. That's the hard part. Those are the days you don't want to get up and do the job, but you got to get up and do the job because there's another set that you got to do it for. So on today's show, I definitely am going to shout out both Shayla Jones and Jake Harrison. Um, for his, it's just something I got to do. So give me a short minute. I'm gonna definitely get them locked in, and we're gonna run that. Let's see what's up. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, what's up with you guys? Good morning. Appreciate y'all getting on the show. I'm gonna pick it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick it up. Like I said, this thing, I came in this morning, normally I come in, it's chaos in the studio. Everything's trying to get worked out. You're trying to make sure everything is going right. Everything went fine. On the day when I got to be a little bit sad, everything went fine. And I guess that's a blessing, so that I could do what I do, you know? Like I said, we got a lot on the show today. I'm only going with one thing from the NCAA just because I love and hate them. And so I'm only going to do that one thing so I could get to these other two real quick. So let's just jump straight to the NCAA news just because, I got to love to hate them.
Breaking now, spotlight on the stories they ain't told yet. Clock's ticking, turn it up, we're just getting started. Who's up next?
Hey, they're talking about taking football away from all the traditional conferences in the NCAA. Here's what's really going on with the NCAA. What they've now looked at is, like everywhere else, like the NFL, CFL, everything. Football is king, right? So they want to remove it from the whole aspect of saying college sports. Is basically what they're getting at. They want to remove it and make it a separate thing so that then it won't harm the other sports, the other athletics. It won't take away from schools having soccer, softball, baseball, track, things like that. They want to make it its own entity. It would sit outside of NCAA purview and it would have its own board of governors governing what happens inside of it. With the NCAA having kind of a minimal stake in it. I agree with it, if I'm being honest. Football in college has outgrown the NCAA. It has outgrown the spectrum of us saying that it is, because I told you before, college sports, basketball, football, we'll call in a couple other ones, are basically now semi-pro. College sports is not what it used to be. And I agree with the direction everything is going in, hands down. I have zero complaints about that. I'm happy the kids are getting paid now and everything else, but you got to separate that thing out because it's just the lawsuits. And then schools are investing so much money into the football side that realistically the other sports are starting to fall victim to that, to the growth of it. So all the money's being transferred to one side and you're losing other sports. Some schools are shutting down entire thing. Washington shut down their whole track program. There's like, and so I agree with the separation. I truly do. Um, I'm 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 not disappointed in the decision of where that conversation is going. Um, so yeah, that's it on the NCAA news. I want to get in it. I want to get out of it. Um, let's move on. Let's get to Shayla, man. Uh, this young lady out of Ohio, great basketball player, loved by her community. Um, when the information came to me, obviously it was a no brainer that I would do something, have the team get together, do something for the community, for her parents, and just everybody that loved her. Um, and then I thought that would be the only one. And then I think it was maybe a couple hours later, just the weirdest thing. Then a message came from Jake's family, and then I was like, wow, so two in the same week. I didn't know what to do with that, but I definitely wanted to shout out Shayla and put something together for her. You guys know me. I told you the way we're going with the show now, I'm just gonna have my people. Everything's original with us, so I want to make sure that we give the families something that they can take with them when this is done. It's not just something that's on this show. So the video, whether it's the video that we put together for you guys, or the songs that are original to your children, those belong to you now, and we will make sure that you get them, so that they will never be used with the Who's Up Next show as far as like on our soundtrack stuff. That's very special for you and your kids. So this is for Shayla. Let's go.
I was watching film of you, thinking, damn, they will never see this again. Yeah. Whole gym quiet in my phone, like heart heavy. Can't press play again. Yeah. 17, but you play grown. Lay the ball up like a love song. From Akron where the cold hit bones, you was heat in a packed out home. On your way to play with the legends who ain't here, but they wait in the heavens. I can see you crossing over with them. You was chasing, now you run with them. The whole city crying in the bleachers. Candles on the curb, hand painted t-shirts. Hearts broken, every block, every teacher. Say your name and they voice get weaker.
Shayla, my life.
You gon' live through us, you still shine bright.
Still Shayla, city crying.
Can't sleep at night, but we hold your number up to the sky. Your family mourning, cause their baby's gone. Try to be strong, but the pain too strong. Your teammates.
Hey, so that's for Shayla Jones. She didn't have a lot of video of her playing, so it was hard for us to get that part together. We were able to get a lot of video pictures of her, so we put that together. Again, the song belongs to the Who's Up Next show, so now that belongs to your family. I will get in contact with you guys or one of my team after the show, and make sure that we get you the whole song over to you. This next one is for Jake. Look, I told you guys, with Jake, it's different. Every kid is special. Every kid I get a chance to come across is special to me. Just me and this kid, man. It's just the weirdest thing about the relationship, and like I said, and just the way that he dogged me and dogged me and dogged me to make sure that I didn't forget about him, that he made it on the show, that he made the cover of Tropaya magazine. I think it was like last December or the December before, like he made the cover of the magazine. He was just that kid. He comes from a background of sports. His brother played, his dad was a baller, and just a great family, great support system. And tragically, he was hit by a car as a pedestrian and lost his life. And his brother is a first responder, and it was the first person on the scene and didn't even know it was his little brother. And that's devastating. I can't even imagine it. So I wanted to make sure that we looked out for you too. Just to the whole Harrison family, we love you. You Guerrilla Army all day. And I just been watching this film all week, trying to pull it together for this dude because I really, really like that kid, man. That's a loss for sure. Let's go, Jake Harrison.
Picked up this pen, thought I'd write about loss. Thought I'd talk about sirens, about tires, about cars. But the ink keeps drifting. Back to living rooms and shoes by the door, to you laughing in the kitchen, dropping crumbs on the floor. See your mom still sets 2 plates, then stares for a while. Talks to your picture on the fridge, swears it answers with a smile. Your room still got that smell, sweat, soap, and old game day air. Trophy dust on the dresser, your jersey on the chair. Your big brother, man, he saw what nobody should see. He was the first to find you, now that vision runs free. But one day it'll fade, get chased a court in his mind by all those one-on-one battles. Backing down from the 3-point line. Jake, I thought this song would be about you gone, but it's all about the love that keeps you living on. Every story that they tell keeps you in the room. Every heartbeat in this house still beats for you. Jake, your name don't echo like an empty sound. Stitched in the family and stitched in the ground. You left in a moment, but look what you gave. Then your brother and your father, that's your legacy engraved. Your dad still sits in the stands of his mind. 2 boys on the court, same face, different times. He saw tomorrow every time you both took that lane. 2 shadows on that asphalt, cutting right through the rain. He still can't say you were, he keeps saying you are. Like if he holds a tense tight, he can pull you from the car. In his mirror, he sees both of you lacing up tight. Same shoulder, same jawline, same fight under light. He talks to your brother about screens and space, about pace, about guarding his place. But between those tips, there's a tremble he hides, cause when he watches your brother, he sees you in his stride. Jake, I thought this song would be about you gone, but it's all about the love that keeps you living on. Every story that they tell keeps you in the room. Every heartbeat in this house still beats for you. Jake, your name don't echo like an empty sound. It's stitched in the family, it's stitched in the ground. You left in a moment, but look what you gave. Then your brother and your father, that's your legacy engraved. One day that crash scene blurs at the edge, replaced by the driveway, by the net, by the hedge. By your brother yelling check, sweat burning his eyes. By your dad on the porch, hands clasped looking sky. It's not that they forget you, it's that the pain learns to bend. Grief turns into stories, stories never end. So I write you in present tense right here in this song, cause love keeps shouting your name long after you're gone.
Jake, I thought this song would be about you gone, but it's all about the love that keeps you living on. Every story that they tell keeps you in the room. Every heartbeat in this house still beats for you.
Jake, your name don't echo like an empty sound. It's stitched in the family, it's stitched in the ground. You left in a moment, but look what you gave. And your brother and your father, that's your legacy engraved.
Welcome back. It's the Who's Up Next show. Shout out to 2 young souls lost, 2 amazing athletes that were on their way to definitely changing the sports that they played with Shayla Jones and Jay Harrison. You guys will definitely never be forgotten. Guerrilla Army forever. That never changes. All right, man. Let's get into it. Hopefully, again, when it comes to Jake's family, you guys already know we talk regular. I'll get everything over to you guys. Make sure you have all that. Something to that hopefully was done in a way that honored him the way that you wanted me to. You guys, both sets of families, you guys had great kids. Yeah. And again, thank you for allowing me to do what I do. All right, man. Let's get to the show. Yeah. You know what? Let's bring it back up. Special Olympics. You guys know how I feel about our partnership with the Special Olympics. They got the Summer Games coming up in Minnesota in June. It's almost here. I'm gonna keep hounding you guys because I really, really, really want you to go out and volunteer. There's always a Special Olympics event, competition, something in your state. They can never have enough volunteers, period, to support these athletes that are, I know that they call it the Special Olympics because they're special needs, but the dedication and work that these athletes commit to their craft. I told you, in some of these sports, even even us out here being able to use our sight, our hearing, walk, talk, and everything else, we wouldn't be able to beat them. That's how polished they are at the sports that they do the way they do them. I told you some of the sprinters that are blind, I don't know how they do it, but I'm telling you right now, they're super, super fast. And I know I couldn't beat them, not even in my prime. And so it's just such an amazing thing. And they deserve our support. And with it being here in the United States, in Minnesota, I know everybody can't get to Minnesota, but you could definitely volunteer your time in your local community. They have an office in almost every city. The Who's Up Next show, Complete College Prospects, is a partnership that I love and appreciate, and that I take a lot of pride in. Special Olympics. Let's go.
Yeah. We up. Who's up next? They up. Let's go. Hey, early bus, late shoe, new flame, name tag hanging like a gold chain. Hey. Mama in the stand, got her both fans raised. Coach yelling out, this your big game. Wheelchair, track spikes, high hope, Rams, lanes, bright paint, white smoke, whole world say can. They say watch this, turn every doubt to a target, they drop quick. Who's up next? Who's up next? Whole crowd on their feet, that's respect. Every lane, every court, every rep, we don't fall, we flex. This is our time, yeah, this our set. Special hearts, heavy metals on the chest. We don't guess, we say it with our chest. Who's up next? Who's up next? We up, yeah. Handshake, fist bump, same dream. Different path, same fight, same team. Got a runner in blaze, got a hooper on wheels, got a swimmer on the blocks, chasing real feels. Camera lights, blue shirts say who's up. Big screen, show the grind, not the luck. Every try, every fall, they would stand tall. Turn too small, do I want it all? Hey.
Welcome back. That's the Special Olympics. Look, it's a good, now that I'm past the other stuff, I think I've been waiting on the interview that's coming on today, here in a little bit, because you're going to see an athlete who is going through the recruiting process, trying to make some things happen. I've got the film, I've put these eyes on the film, I'm gonna grade the film. But then his mom jumped into this overwhelming sea of the recruiting process. And most parents, let's be honest, for years, I've been telling you guys on this show, don't wait till this time to be in the recruiting process to learn about the recruiting process. And without fail, year after year after year, day after day, there's some parent that reaches out and says, I wasn't prepared. And I'm like, I've been saying it, right? Or they come to me late and they're like, what can you do to help my kid? And it's like, we could have been doing some things. What up, man? We could have been doing some things, but it's never too late if you don't get overwhelmed. This young man's mother didn't let the process overtake her. She was like, okay, great. This option isn't great. This option isn't great. This doesn't look like it works. So let me do something myself to go in a direction to help my kid, and try to get him where he's trying to go. And I've told you guys, look, if you're a parent and you understand contracts and business and negotiation, represent your kid, right? Represent your kid. There's nothing like in-house, right? If in-house, if there's in-house knowledge, use it. But if you know that you don't have it, because everyone's not going to be like his mom, right? That's not how that's going to play out. Tanya's a little different about her understanding. Most are going to get swallowed up by the system. Most are going to jump in there and think that they can tread water, and they can't, because what you have to understand, there's so much money involved now when it comes to recruiting, whether it's from the outside helping to get kids in, whether it's the colleges and again, we're revenue sharing. The average school is putting out $25 million a year in what they're paying for at the D1 level. We're revenue sharing with their players. That's not including NIL money. So there's so much involved that I told you, a lot of the colleges have turned their recruiting departments for sports into actual LLCs, into businesses. They've taken it from being the college sports, the football recruiting or basketball recruiting or soccer recruiting, and made it an actual corporation. because they've got to look out for themselves. There's too much money. And so if you feel uncomfortable with negotiating, or you don't know what you're doing, don't try to dive in there. The mistakes are too big. Plus, it's your kid's future, right? So don't dive in there and say, "Well, we'll see how it works out," because it won't go the way that you want it to go. It's sad, but I told you, we don't apologize. We don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to hear. Everybody's not built for this negotiation. I've got kids that are that their parents will call and say, "Hey, I got my kid has this many offers." They're talking about my kid's going to still end up paying $15,000 a year to go to school, blah blah. And then you got to explain like, "Nah, that was the opening salvo, right? That was the opening of the negotiation. Now let's see how much they want your kid, right? Now you go back to negotiate." And that's at every level. It doesn't matter. Every single level, even at the D3 level. I want to get that out the way too. Everybody's going to say, like at D3, you know what I'm saying, they don't do sports scholarships. Neither does the Ivy League. I just want to make this clear. All of the Princetons, the Cornells, the Browns, the Yales, they don't do sports scholarships. It's all education scholarships. And the negotiations are there. If they don't want your kid to pay any money, your kid's not going to pay a dime. It depends on how much they want your kid. So you've got to be comfortable that when you see the first number, you don't panic. You gotta be calm. You got to be willing to go in there and negotiate. You got to understand that you actually have a voice if you do it correctly. You've heard me say it on the show plenty of times. I always use Nico's dad as the prime suspect. He knows I love him, but I have to. That negotiation at Tennessee was nonsense. He was already getting $2 million a year. Tennessee was handling their business, got a little greedy. It went all bad. It went all bad. That was a parent that didn't understand the assignment. And so parents, if you need help, get help. I don't know how much Tanya's going to want to delve into her side, but the big fella. You know how I feel about, I'm complete college prospects all day, every day. Like second to none, but we're big at what we do. But if you need someone to help you go down a path, correct some of the things, second that we got the information, well, at least the second that I got the information, because it was sent to me, I think, yesterday, I'm going to go dive in and see what it is that she does. And I actually like her setup. Excuse me. I after going through it, and I have it right here. After going through it, I was definitely interested in speaking with her because I wanted to see what caused her to go down the path she went down. I'm pretty sure I know the answer because I've heard it from a million other parents. And so, but it's rare to find someone that says, if there's no one to do it, I'll get it done. Most people want someone else to do the work. You don't know how many times we'll tell the big fella's the door. Who the complete college prospect? We're the door. We don't open the door. We are the door. Like we'll lock you in. If you do all the things we're asking, you got talent, you're going to school. That's zero questions asked. That's happening, right? I respected everything that I saw, and you know me, like it's a risk for someone to come on this show that's in the recruiting side of things. Because if those I's aren't dotted and those T's aren't crossed, I'm going, how I feel, I'm gonna get at them. If I'll get at NCSA and 24/7 and all of them, and I go to war against those companies. If I'll go to war against them, I'll go to war against anybody. I have zero remorse. I like the way she set things up. It makes sense to me. Whether it's the social media side, things like that, I really like the way that it's laid out. And so I was happy that it was going to be a positive interview where I get to support someone that's out there doing the thing and trying to make a difference. And so in a little bit, it's going to be, you guys are in for a treat. And they've done interviews before, so I'm not going to have to pull teeth. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. You mothers and fathers out there, I think you guys are going to enjoy it too, because you're going to get to see that just because you've never done it doesn't mean you can't do it. I've told you before, if you need companies, great. You got to go to the ones that count. you know me, CCP is always going to be it. But if you can't, if just for some reason you can't and you think you could do it yourself, it's possible. It's possible. You're going to see it from a mom here on this show. There you go. Bam. Let's roll. Let's go to y'all know, look, let's get into a couple of these other little quick videos before we jump in with Jackson and Tanya. So let's go with bleacher years. Some of you parents, I think, let these things get away from you. I told you guys that sports is a business today. And it's, as I showed you last week, it's a business from 5 years old. If you think that you have time to mess around and be successful in this thing, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I also chose today to talk about CTE a little bit more. You guys know how I feel about it and the things I worry about when it comes to me. But I wanted to show some new information because I believe that if you are playing, I've always said that there's a price, right? If you want to do, being an athlete is special. It's unique. It's something that a lot of people will never understand or get to do. They'll just complain and be fans, right? But I also want you to understand that there's consequences that come with being an athlete. And I'm telling you right now, I know I would never change it. For me, I wouldn't change it. For my decision, I know for most of my peers that have been professional athletes, they won't change it. In whatever sport it is that they do, they would not give it up for the world. They wouldn't change anything that went down anyway because it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing journey. And so I want to preface with that. But I do want to say that you should know up front where you are and what you do. And with CTE, when it comes to combat sports, when I say combat sports, we're talking about football, rugby, mixed martial arts, boxing, just a lot more soccer in some instances, just depends, right? I want to make sure that we are talking about the things that can happen at younger ages. You guys play a lot more than we did. You know, football was once a year. Basketball was maybe twice a year, winter league, summer league. But you guys are playing sports all year round. Combat sports are not meant to be played all year round. Spring is supposed to be you get your body right and everything else. As far as the full on contact, it used to be, you know, as they were learning 18, 19 years, and maybe you might be possible for CTE. But what you have to understand is that's when you were playing for one season. So if you double the seasons, then you got to cut that in half. Now that comes down to more like 8, 9 years, right? So if you're at 8, 9 years and you've been playing since you were 4 or 5, you figure that out. So I want to make sure we jump into that too. But right now, let's go to this bleacher years. Check this video out, and then I'll come back on the other side.
You don't get a second chance at these bleacher years. So be present, show up, be their biggest and loudest fan, because this season of life is short and you'll never get these moments back. You don't get a second chance at these bleacher years. So be present, show up, be their biggest and loudest fan, because this season of life is short and you'll never get these moments back.
You guys know me. I'm gonna run those videos back sometimes when they're short, and I thought that was an important one. Parents, don't get caught up in the business too early. Make sure you're handling business, but don't forget to sometimes just sit down and watch. Sometimes don't worry about the wins and the losses. Sometimes don't worry about whether your kid's getting playing time or not. Just look at the smiles on their face. Just enjoy the fact that in this moment, you get a chance to enjoy your kid out there in front of you being happy, being a kid. Because sports has gotten so far from being about having fun and just being business. And so I think sometimes we miss that. We miss that moment of just watching our kid, just enjoying the moment, enjoying that time, because it will come and it will go. It's amazing how quickly a child can go from 5 years old to 18 years old, and then they're not in your home and they're in college or out doing whatever it is they got to do with their life. So focus in, put aside some of that, some of the chaos, right? And try to take time to enjoy the bleacher years. because they do. They just go away so fast. So fast. All right. I'm gonna jump into CT because I'm gonna definitely want to talk to Jackson about this one. So I'm gonna get into that. And again, I'm not trying to tell you not to play again, I highly recommend being an athlete. There you go. Whatever the consequences. And that's honest to God. Whatever the look, if the day comes that I will hate to lose my memory or to not be able to function, but I can't imagine having lived my life without sports. I can't imagine having not traveled and met people and been in venues and environments that people just wanted to come watch me do what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's rare that people come to see you in your lifetime. No one shows up at your office to come see you do you as a banker. No one, like, I'm not knocking being a banker, but no, that's normal. No one's coming in there and cheering like, oh my God, you gave change for a 20. No one does that. No one's at the grocery store saying that you're an amazing bagger. That's a necessary job. I appreciate every job that everyone does, period. But there's something special about being an athlete. And so I'm not saying don't do it. I just want to make sure that we have the information because every coach isn't a great coach. That's facts. And if you don't have the information to be able to say no sometimes, like there's such a thing as too much contact. There just is. That's facts. If you notice, if you went back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, boxers used to come, you would see a boxer and the boxer might have 200 amateur fights. And then they're fighting once a month. The first year of their pro career might be 12 fights in their first year. They stopped that because most of those fighters, by the time they were done, were punch drunk. We now know that's CTE. This is the thing. So now you see that combat sports, a guy might fight once a year. Careers take a longer time to get where they're going, but you're trying to lessen the amount of abuse to the body. But we've gotten away from that with the other sports. So now you got kids with knee injuries from basketball and baseball and softball, things like that they normally wouldn't have gotten until they became pros. And CT is the same as that. So let's go. A bunch of these were sent to me. Let's go with the hits. Because I've had parents that told me that's the one thing they love about practice. They wish that their kid could hit at every practice. And I wanted to tell them that they're insane. Let's go.
The youth football average hit to the head is the same acceleration as a college player.
Really?
Really. All the studies in the world will tell you that it's exactly the same. 23 Gs is the average youth hit and the average college hit. Their bodies are tiny, their heads are big. And so the issue is, like in a football hit, they're not like running so fast that it looks like there's a lot of energy. But you realize when something strikes their head and they have these tiny necks, their head will move further and faster than an adults would. And that's where you get the brain strain that we're trying to avoid.
So that's the first one, right? So people, please, parents, when you're like, I'm going to start my kid in high school in football, I think that's insane. I just do. Because then they haven't learned proper technique. And they're bigger and stronger. And the age difference. You could be a freshman and be really good playing against somebody that's 18, 19 years old. That's a senior. So I think that's insanity, my opinion. I would always start earlier. But you need to understand that the contact is still the same. Just because the athletes are not moving as fast, what people fail to realize is it's the truth. That neck difference. Those kids haven't lifted weights. They haven't been training their body a long time. And so when you have these 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and you see a smack and it looks amazing, and it's like, oh yeah, my kid did that. But even the person delivering the hit took the same kind of hit because this doctor is correct. The neck muscles have not been strengthened enough to stop the rattle. And I think that most people don't understand that concussions don't happen from the contact. It's the amount of times that your brain rattles back and forth inside of your skull, inside of this fluid. It's not connected to anything. And so it can look like the easiest hit. My brother-in-law got a concussion from a snowball. When I heard the story, I was like, I didn't even understand it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand how that was possible, but it was possible. It doesn't take much to get a concussion. And so when you look at these smaller kids, you really start to understand it. That's why I'm not a fan of spring contact. Like I'm not. Not until you get older, not until you've had a chance to work that body, get things in a proper strengthening and condition. Let's jump into this next one because this is about stage 2. And there's 4 levels of CTE. And it used to be that they thought it was only going to be older players, older athletes in general in different sports. But you're about to find out a little bit different.
Did you know that those hits can add up to CT even in young football players? There's now been an 18-year-old diagnosed with stage 2 CT named Wyatt Bramwell, who played football from age 10 to age 18. Stage 2 means it's been in your brain for years and has been progressing. There's only 4 stages. These hits add up. What we now believe is that CT's mostly a math problem. The number and strength of hits to the head that you receive in your life is the number one thing that will determine whether or not you get this lifelong progressive brain disease.
So again, I just want to clarify, and this is going to be morbid, but remember, the only way to test for CTE is on a body that has been donated, a brain that has been donated, because the person passed away. And currently there is no way to test for CTE on a living human being. So this 18-year-old had passed away and had already had stage 2 CTE from years of damage. The cracks get progressively worse, is what happens with the different hits. Again, at 18, when they used to think that it would take 19 years of continuous play in your sport for this to happen, this kid had been playing from 5 to 18. But if you double the seasons, right? You double the seasons, you add in full contact camps and everything else. There you go. So things that you were seeing, the junior sales and things like that you were seeing later in life, we're going to start seeing in younger and younger athletes if you don't learn how to recover. That's the major part of being an athlete, is understanding your body and the ability to recover. And the fact that you can never be afraid to, if your coach will take your position because you need to take a break, you're not on the right team with the right program. Now, if it's during season, I get that. If it's in the summer, I get that. But if it's spring and you should be healing, and that's especially in youth, there's a billion youth teams. Go somewhere else. High school too. We're gonna talk about that loyalty stuff. Just roll out. Go somewhere else, man. I want to see you do. Look, you've got to be in the. If you go to the NFL, you need 5. You know what I'm saying? To be fully vested, you got to get in there and you got to be able to stay in order to get retirement and everything else. That doesn't happen. A lot of people make it, but they get to a year, 2 years. Now they're out and they don't have any of the retirement. So I want to see you make it. And I also want to see you be taken care of for the rest of your life because you committed to something and you didn't let your body break down so early that you got to your dream and you can only give it a year, because your body gives out. So I just want to, again, I'm not telling anybody to not play contact sports. I'm just telling you, be smart about it. Parents, stop being afraid of coaches. Just being honest, at least till you get to college. College is different. But the rest of that, don't be afraid of coaches. Last one on CTE.
So what we found, we had 152 individuals who'd come into the brain bank. They had died before the age of 30, so the oldest age was 29. They were all contact sport athletes. And out of that 152, 63 had CTE. Now that was shocking to me. It's unbelievable. Plus talking to these parents, these families that have lost these young people. It's such a short life that was extinguished. And it's a preventable disease. Believe it or not, for high school players that we have coming in the bank, they only play high school sport, we're seeing a third of them with CTE. Now, that doesn't mean that a third of high school players all over the world are going to get CTE, but in this, very select group of brain donors where the families were concerned that they might have something going on, we find that a third of them have diagnostic disease.
So again, I just want to clarify and back up what she said. For a third of those 163 donors had only played high school sports. So they didn't start playing contact sports before high school. They started in high school and still show signs of CTE. So I just don't, when you get in a car and get your driver's license, they make sure that you understand that the car is a weapon. You could lose your life. You could do this. You could do that. When you go to your local swimming pool, or you go to here in Vegas, you go to casinos to go swimming, part of the thing that you sign says, hey, you know that this could be dangerous, blah, 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 whatever, right? So I want every parent to understand that when your kid is out there playing, this is why you should appreciate what they're doing. For every fan, stop saying, just because your team is winning doesn't mean that other team sucks, because what you have to understand is what they're doing. They're still there. They're still participating. They're still out there making the sacrifice. So you can appreciate that your kid is doing amazing. You can appreciate that your team is winning, but don't disparage the other kid or the other team. None of them suck, because they're out there doing it. They're making the same sacrifices, and they might not get the same reward as the best kid. Do you understand? That's why I wanted to talk about CTE. I don't want it to stop anybody from doing it. What I wanted it to do is you understand what these kids are willing to sacrifice to get to their dreams. And then I want you to turn around the next time that you see a kid playing a sport. I don't care what sport it is. And I mean that. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's chess. If you're watching these young men and women participate in something, I want you, before you make a negative comment, right? I want you to ask yourself, what have you sacrificed for in the last 5 years? What have you been willing to give all of your free time, all of your stress, all of your sleep? What have you been willing to give all of that to go out and dedicate yourself to something? And I got a feeling that a lot of people are going to find out nothing. Not because they wouldn't, but just because there was nothing that intrigued them or interested them in that way. But these kids do this. That's the facts. I always say, make sure that you find a really good coach to coach your kid, and that it's more important than just being a coach, because a coach is not just a coach. A really good coach is a counselor, is a friend, is a parent, is a mentor, is a coach. Like they're all of these things wrapped in one, because if you add it up, most of these coaches are going to spend more time with your kid in a week than you are. They're going to go to school. They're going to be with their coaches. You're at work. By the time they see you, you're at practice with them, and they're with their coaches again. So you want to find those people that understand that. And so again, I just want to be clear about that. It's not that the kid next to your kid, I get that they're competing. I tell my kid to dominate at every chance, not to let a dude eat. Don't let him take food off his plate. None of that. I agree with all of that. But at the same time, that next kid doesn't suck. That next kid isn't terrible, because when I'm looking at my kid, that kid is right there too. And so I know that if my kid is making a sacrifice, that kid, he might not make the extra sacrifice. I don't know if he does or he doesn't, but I know that at this practice, that kid is right there too. And so you have to understand what these kids sacrifice. Most of them are sacrificing being a kid. And I think that we fail to think about that. And that's why when I eulogize kids, like at the beginning of the show, it's an understanding that both of those, for them kids being 17, they probably spent 11 of those years sacrificing for a dream that they will never get a chance to see. Do you understand? So that's why I wanted to talk about CTE. If you ask me, I'm sure parents are going to get mad. Some parents, because I'm not like, oh yeah, you shouldn't do it. No, please, I'm telling you, it's fun and you should do it. There you go. Get to go to college as an athlete is amazing. Don't pass on that. Getting to get cheered, it's amazing. Don't pass on that. I would never say that, right? But I want everybody else to understand this is for everyone on the outside. The athletes already know what they're sacrificing, but this is for the people on the outside that feel like they could get on social media and everything else and say whatever it is they want to say. Athletes don't belong to you. They belong to you when you understand and respect what they sacrifice. We don't look at a firefighter and say, hey, you didn't run in that building, so you suck. He's great because he ran in the building. No, you're all great because on any day, all of you will run in that building. That's how it is for these athletes. And I just want you guys to have that same energy at all times and understand this is the price. And some of these kids are going to pay it young. I've watched careers end in year one from a weird injury. So that's it. That's where that was. But before I got to this interview, I definitely wanted to bring up CT because I'm gonna definitely chop it up with Jackson about it and his mom. And so I just wanted to make sure that I did that thing. So we're gonna get into the firm's commercial. We're gonna come back. We're gonna jump into we're gonna jump into Jackson's video first because y'all know I gotta do that. And then we're gonna talk to the family. So let's go. The firm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. This that firm talk. Complete college prospects. Baby. Came from the bleachers. Mama in the cold stands. Coach say grades first. You just want both plans. Books in the banners. Cleats in the book bag. Whole city doubt it. We just let the proof brag. Huddle with the fam. They ain't know the process. We turn stress into maps. Turned out into progress. They tryna tax you the dream. We ain't on that. One price, one time. Stamp on the contract. One price, one time. That's the move. That's the move. We never come up short. We come through. The firm on the grind for your future. We just here to make the dream come true. One price, one time. That's the move. That's the move. High school to campus, that route true. The firm on the grind for your future. We just here to make the dream come true. Film in the laptop, stats in the email. Colleges tap in, we already pre-sale. Line up the visits, flights, talks, details. Teach you the lingo so you read all the fine scale. No games, no gimmicks. We straight with the blueprint. They play with your time. We sharpen your tools, then locker room prayers. Turn into dorm keys from first down Fridays to cap and gown seats. One price, one time. That's the move. That's the move. We never come up short. We come through. Never. The firm on the ground for your future. We just here to make the dream come true. One price, one time. That's the move. That's the move. High school to campus, that route true. The firm on the grind for your future. We just here to make the dream come true. From the court to the field to the classroom. We gon' walk every step when the grad bloom. You ain't just a number on a stat sheet. You a first day freshman with a pack. One price, one time. That's the move. That's the move. We never come up short.
Welcome back. It's the Who's Up Next show. You know what that is. That's the firm. I think it's like 20 companies now, 21 companies all coming together to make sure that your kids receive the exposure and the recruiting assistance they need. You already know I'm going to bash NCSA. I'm going to bash Rivals. I'm going to bash 24/7 Sports. I mean, there's a few more if they want it anytime, anyway. One, I just spoke to a parent the other day talking about recruiting, and they had paid NCSA like $2,500. That the crazy part is that's not even the most expensive package. That like it's not even the most expensive package for nothing to get done. I don't understand it. I don't comprehend. We're just gonna keep bashing them. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep bashing them. Complete college prospect. We got like 22, 23 simulators, things that help you with everything from recruiting to your NIL and everything else to educate your family. And that's why I said I respect what Tanya is trying to do because, and again, you guys already know. So I want to clarify this before we get to the interview. Yes, we keep our price one price, right? That $100 across the board is so that every kid, nobody should go without. No one should not have the ability to be assisted in getting to school, period. You guys already know we have like 400 scholarships in there, internships, all kinds of stuff for students and athletes. We're different. We even hate being called a recruiting company because we do so much more. But with what she's doing, her price is different, but I get it because it's in the value of what she's doing. Like I said, I've got her stuff up and I've gone through it. I actually agree, and I think the price is reasonable compared to what I've seen other companies do, where you get no benefit. The proof is in what she's in the concept. So I'm in full support of it. So yeah, that's the firm. Y'all know what it is. Let's jump into this interview. We're gonna run Jackson's film, and then we're gonna get out.
Who's up next? Who's up next? Turn it up. Yeah. You rocking with the best. This the Who's Up Next show. Lock in, don't switch. Spotlight bright on the grind in the pitch. Backstage story. Dreams get the kids live. Interviews with the big fella you can't miss. Who's up next? Who's up next? Yeah.
Lights up. Great time. Cleats in the dust, white tape on my wrist. Name on my back, whole town in the mist. Mama in the stands, had low tight fists. Praying I'm safe when I take that risk. Scoreboard glow on a Friday night. Heartbeat running like a red tail light. Whole squad posted on the sideline hype. We've been grinding for this all my life, all my life. Every yard, every bruise, every late night drive, every mile, every trial, kept the dream alive. Hear the crowd get loud when we cross that line. Hit the replay now, let it freeze in time. This that highlight, roll it back in slow-mo. Every big play, feel it hit like thunder. We go all night, turning up the whole show. Ain't no fear here, only heart and hunger. From the back row to the bright station, we were built for the big time lights. This that highlight, roll it back in slow-mo. We don't back down, we just ride, we just ride. Mud on my boots, sweat drip, tight grip. Hands in the air when the net goes switch. Coach on the bench with it, that's my kid. Whole team jumping, yeah, we all live this. Last 10 seconds, crowd locked on me. Pressure like a wave, but it sets me free. Zoom on my face when I make that three. Turn into a clip for the whole world to see. Every doubt, every shout, I turned into drive. Every hit, every miss, make me feel alive. Hear the bass dropping when we cross that line. Cut the lights down low, let the stars align. This that highlight, roll it back in slow-mo. Every big play, feel it hit like thunder. We go all night, turning up the whole show. Ain't no fear here, only heart and hunger. From the back row to the bright station, we were built for the big time lives. This that highlight.
Welcome back to the Who's Up Next show. Let's welcome Jackson and Tanya Pacheco to the stage. How y'all doing?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, man. Jackson, bro. I've watched the film, like I almost want to run it back one more time because for me, it's all about technique. Everything is about technique, and there's a give me a minute. I'm gonna run it back one more time. Everybody gonna get to see it. I just want to. There's two plays that I just want to catch one more time. So everybody gonna have to bear with me. But like I've seen this film maybe 7 times, and I'm torn because I'm a scorer. You know what I'm saying? So there's 2 that I'm curious about. I just want to see something about how you shed the blocker. So you good? We cool? We gonna run it back one more time? All right, let's run that back.
Run it back
one
2
more
times.
Run it back 2 times. Let's run that back.
Lights up. Great time. Cleats in the dust, white tape on my wrist. Name on my back, whole town in the mist. Mama in the stands, had low tight fists. Praying I'm safe when I take that risk. Scoreboard glow on a Friday night. Heartbeat running like a red tail light. Whole squad posted on the sideline hype. We've been grinding for this all my life, all my life. Every yard, every bruise, every late night drive, every mile, every trial, kept the dream alive. Hear the crowd get loud when we cross that line. Hit the replay now, let it freeze in time. This that highlight, roll it back in slow-mo. Every big play, feel it hit like thunder. We go all night, turning up the whole show. Ain't no fear here, only heart and hunger. From the back row to the bright station, we were built for the big time lies. This that light, roll it back in slow-mo. We don't back down, we just ride, we just ride. Mud on my boots, sweat drips, tight grip. Hands in the air when the net goes switch. Coach on the bench with it, that's my kid. Whole team jumping, yeah, we all live this. Last 10 seconds, crowd locked on me. Pressure like a wave, but it sets me free. Zoom on my face when I make that three. Turn into a clip for the whole world to see. Every doubt, every shout, I turned into drive. Every hit, every miss, make me feel alive. Hear the bass dropping when we cross that line. Cut the lights down low, let the stars align. This that highlight, roll it back in slow-mo. Every big play, feel it hit like thunder. We go all night, turning up the whole show. Ain't no fear here, only heart and hunger. From the back row to the bright station, we were built for the big time lives. This that highlight.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, real quick. There's a young defensive lineman that I know is watching this show right now. Tank, watch this film, bro. You're gonna see what I've been telling you about when you once you shed the blocker, get into the backfield. Like I just wanted to. This is why when you guys come on as athletes, I always want to make sure that we give your film the best look, and that I'm making sure that I see great technique, because there's young athletes that look up to you guys. And so when I see somebody that does something well, I always want to make sure. And like I said, there's a young guy I know right now is watching this. Seriously, Tank, run this back after the show and just watch the way that he sheds the blocker, and then what he does the second that he's in the backfield. I just want you to see that, and you'll know why I yell at you all the time. All right, cool. Let's get back to this interview. All right. Scoring it, I saw what I needed to see. So, all right, let's score this thing. I think so. 1-5, 1-5, 1-5. I feel strong, bro. How tall are you?
6'2".
Oh, that's it?
All right, that's it. Cool.
No, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying so look, there's a kid, Camden Goforth, that's like 6'6", madness. He's just signed to go to West Virginia. And the way that he moves people, his size says why he should be doing that. So at 6'2", for you to be doing the same thing is a credit to you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, is that it? Like, you seem so much stronger and so much bigger when I'm watching your film. And so that's why I'm like, that also now adjusts the way that I see it, because it was 1-5, but I tend to give out this one when it's different. So I'm going You were 5, bro. It was 5. But then 6'2", how much you weighing?
290. 280.
290. Okay. Look, man, the speed I like. I was worried about the violence for a second. Because sometimes you would get your hands on a guy and you wouldn't just rip him into the ground. But then the more I watch it, your tackling technique is correct. Even the times you're aggressive and you got to put him down, you do. But even when you're trying to get that guy and wrap him up, you never let him get positive yardage. Excuse me. Every time I watch you tackle, I know you've seen this on your team film. Most people wrap, and when they spin, they end up throwing the guy forward for a couple yards, and they give them a couple that they shouldn't give them. You never do. You never give them positive yardage ever. So I like that a lot. And so I know your mom had to jump into it, but how is recruiting going in general?
It's good. It's a little stressful. It's a lot, colleges going in and out, talking to me, not talking to me, a lot goes on. It's a lot, but it's fun all around.
Okay. And what year are you right now?
27.
Okay. I mean, so you still got one. Have you gotten any invites for officials?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, officials are paid for.
Yeah, pay for it.
He's got unofficial visits right now.
You got unofficials. Okay, cool. So there's two different.
This is my department.
So for everybody out there, there's two types of visits. There's official visits. They pay for it. There's gonna be some people that are like, well, D3s don't pay for it. That's actually not true. They'll pay for some stuff if they really want you. And then there's unofficials. You could take an unofficial anytime you want. It's just going to be on your dime. And that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes the unofficial is enough to get you in front of the people that matter to bring their attention to you. So you've only done an official. What schools are currently talking to you?
Villanova, West Virginia, Monmouth,
Nice.
Pitt.
Okay, nice. No, you got a good selection in there. When it comes to the process, how has it been for you with communication between you and the schools?
Well, let's say everything. I have to make sure I'm not going to say anything I'm not supposed to here.
Yeah. No. I want you to trust me. We don't want to do anything that would hurt recruiting. And when we say, so when I'm asking a question like that, this is what I'm looking for is, are the coaches tending to stay in contact with you? Because what you're talking for is not so much for you, it's for the people that are going to come behind you so they understand how to do the thing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the coaches that stay in contact, like Virginia Tech coach Spencer, text me. I text him, he'll always respond usually within minutes or something, hours, personal numbers, all that. And there are some coaches that they show a lot of interest. They might even come to your school and stuff, and they just don't respond. And different coaches are different ways. But to me, it's the coaches that really stay in touch that have the biggest impact in recruiting.
This is a great answer. No school can get upset with you for that answer, and it's the truth. For you athletes that are out there, again, I've spoken to some parents recently that I always say that if it's a good thing if they're staying in contact. It's a good thing when a coach responds. When they tend to stop responding, they might have gotten a better contact with someone that's higher on their board. When I'm talking about their board, so let's say in any recruiting department, no matter your sport, the program that's recruiting you is dependent on the amount of players they can recruit. So if this is basketball, it might be only like five to seven that are on their board. Football, it's going to look more like 25 that are on this board of players that they would like to get. And depending on where you fall on that board, if you're number 25 and you guys are having a great conversation, but then number 15 is kind of locked and loaded and feeling good, they'll drift a little bit. They won't forget about you, but they'll drift and try to lock in that player that's higher on the board. It's just how it works. No program is going to get mad at you or anything for whatever. But I just want you guys to hear from somebody on this show that's going through it. And so you guys can understand what he's talking about.
And that's one of the biggest learning curves. I'm taking notes and names for later, but what I intend to do when this journey, ends up, he's finally in college, is learning the habits. It reminds me like dating as a grown adult. When patterns and habits change, that usually means, like you said, the board is changing. And there's such a huge learning curve to it, because when a coach comes in to your Twitter, because that's your main platform, he's evaluating you. So it took me a little to learn that. And then if they're responding, they're interested. Someone like Coach Spencer, I guess Coach Chaos is what they call him. He came in, he followed, 5 days of silence, came right into the DMs with, here's my phone number. Jackson and him have been communicating a visit, unofficial visits, just for the parents out there. If it's a personal invite from a coach, I mean, he's going to do meetings, practice, a tour at some point is how we put it, and then meeting with the coaches in an office. Even though it's not official, unofficial visits, they can still, usually an unofficial visit can give you an offer, and then you get invited back for that official visit.
So another key for you parents, right? I always say this, and I hope that people take this to heart. Unofficial visits are your investment in you. And sometimes a program just wants to see how committed you are. They might be on the fence about you, and they just want to see, like, how much do you want it? And she's right. Like, going on that first one, you're going to come back. But the important key is the details that she just gave, which is, if you get there and they're guaranteeing you're going to get face-to-face time with coaches, they're going to personally give you the campus tour. You're going to get to do some meetings, which means they're probably going to get you on some film. They want to talk to you, pick your brain, see what you see. That means that they have some interest. That it's important. Like, everyone gets caught up on, well, my friend has 10 visits and they're paying for everything. That's great. That's that one kid. I promise you, that's not everybody. That's not even the norm. That's that one kid that you just are dialed in on. Just like full ride scholarships, there's a lot more non-full ride athletes than there are full ride athletes. Facts. So I appreciate that information in there. West Virginia is a solid school. So I just have another. I have another kid.
If you fit there right, this is the thing. People are wondering what happened at West Virginia. Nothing, great school, but they would use him as a nose guard. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's a very gifted 3-tech. I mean, he's really good. So if a school isn't the fit, it's not that there's anything wrong with the school or the coaches, just not for him.
Yep. And that's the other thing. It really is a field. It's not only about whether or not they want you for what you do. If you're not sure and you're an athlete, fine, be willing to change positions, whatever. But it's also a vibe of, do you get along with the coaches and the community? I think people don't take that into consideration. They're so happy to get an offer that they'll go anywhere, and then they find out it's the midnight train time because they don't like the environment. And so your mother is right with all of that. And they're big on linemen. So great school. I'm great school, and they're big on linemen. But yeah. No,
well, that's what I've learned about his size, being 6'2". Someone called him an undersized white boy. Just for the record, if he was black, he'd still be undersized. But anyways,
he would, yeah.
I'm from the 80s, so he cringes when I do stuff like that.
I'm good.
Anyways, because he's 6'2", and I've gotten him up to 290. He was 199 freshman year, 230 sophomore year. Junior year, he started at 265, and now I have him at 290.
Nice.
That's a specific size. That's a nice, big, strong 3-tech. Now, if you put him somewhere else, he's no longer, big. You don't see very many 3-techs that are 6'4", 320 pounds, because they can't move.
You're definitely kind of locked in right there. What's your 40?
5'1".
Handheld.
Oh, okay.
He's working right now because he put the 20 pounds on. He trains with Val Barnaby, who's a 4-year Rutgers star and NFL veteran, but he's a position-specific coach. We started with him last year, which was important. So because of the 20 pounds he put on, we went to one of the combines so we could get his time. He has the Adidas 3-stripe coming up, and that's laser. So he needs to do a 5 flat, because 5 flat laser, that's elite. And if you're going to make a difference especially when you start getting into Power 4 schools, if you're really good, there's plenty of FCS schools. You have to be elite to get in line for, especially with the portal nowadays. In order to get in line for a scholarship at a Power 4 school, you have to be above average.
Yeah. That's why I asked about your 40, and the 5'1" is
But you're 4'6'4".
Yeah, I run a 4'6'4", 5'5".
Okay. All right.
There.
Huh. So hey, get that laser time, bro.
The 5'10" 5 is laser.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that's not bad at all. That's good. So you're solid. You're like, what's your
He'll hit
numbers
the
look
five
like?
flat. He'll hit it. He's working. He talked me into putting turf down. I took the carpet out of my entertainment room downstairs, and it is now turf.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. It's the sacrifices that matter. It's the sacrifices that matter.
He
What are your
sacrificed. We put
numbers?
it in ourselves with a roll of 20 by 15, 400-pound turf through a condo window and downstairs. We took out
Oh, that's
railings and
crazy.
everything.
That's crazy. Hey, now you understand. First, I always say the first people that invest in your company are your parents. You're a business. You're a business, and they're the first. And your parents are going above and beyond to help you, man. What do your numbers look like as far as tackles, things like that?
That's a great question. Do you know?
Are you kidding?
I'm so serious. I think I had like
You had 7
40.
tackles.
I did not have 7 tackles.
You did because we should be a comedy show. I apologize because the All American, you ended up with your that was a pick 6.
Mom, 7 sacks is what she meant to say.
Oh, why? What I
7
say?
sacks. I was about to be 7
Oh,
tackles. Was going to
tackles.
be
Oh.
terrible. 7 tackles were going to be terrible. I didn't want to say anything yet. Okay, 7 sacks. We're good.
He's about to shut the camera off. Wrong people.
How many solos you
I'm
got?
so sorry.
So on your season, how many solos did you have?
Oof, that's where we get a little rough. I think I had about 20 solos.
Okay. All right.
20 solos. I had like 40 or 50 total.
Okay.
He's used in his high school. They tend to, the other teams, his coach will tell you, they plan their offense around him. So
Nice.
even though he's in a 3-tech position, they'll move their offense. So he usually, when you look at his film, there's never less than 2 guys, and sometimes they put a third on him. So he's not able to get the stats that he normally would if he was not getting.
That's okay though.
Kids on him.
But you know what though? So look, it works 2 ways. Yes, you don't have the numbers that you would have if they weren't doubling you, but at the same time, your numbers are really high for someone that is being doubled and triple teamed at times. That offensive, the fact that here's the difference that you make, and a coach will see this, is that if you make the offense play outside of their norm, then you're the most effective person on the defense. You know what I'm saying? And that is a credit to your talent. And that will help with recruiting as well. That is super important. It makes all the difference in the world. So numbers aren't bad when you're being doubled and triple teamed. And at the same time, when I'm watching the way that you perform the job, your first step is really strong. And like I said, you play like you're bigger than you are. Like you really do. So I can see why you're getting the interest that you're getting. What are we looking like as far as our classes? Are we just in regular classes? We taking some AP? What have we done?
Yeah, no AP. No AP.
No AP? That's all right.
Not regular.
Okay. What are we looking at GPA?
3.5, 3.6.
He's got an 87% average. It just depends. Sometimes when we say 3.5, people think if that's a 5-point system, then that's not good. You know what I mean? But
Right.
So we say 3.5.
I'm good with it because, like I always say on this show, anything above a 3 is great because it's going to get you yes, you'll sign a letter of intent, but realistically, it's a financial contract now that we've made this switch. So now with a financial contract, your financial contract will take into consider all of that, and the better your GPA, more money you get. So and that puts together your scholarship. Now it's not just a scholarship from the school, it's your financial aid, it's all kinds of stuff jumbled into one package. And then they shoot that to you and you guys agree on whatever. That's why I say it's up for negotiation. Having a 3.5 entitles you to so much more. And it makes it where you can go to school anywhere. Any school can recruit you because they can all give you money, whether it's scholarship money from the education side, scholarship money from the scholarship side, or financial stuff from the school just for little things. So going on these visits, make sure you guys keep track of where you go on visits, because a lot of schools will also give you scholarship money because you came to the school for a visit.
That's like Lafayette came to visit him, and that was quite a compliment because everybody knows that is a very prestigious school when it comes to your grades.
See, and it's a plus. Yeah, it's a plus. I don't tell people to take AP classes unless they're trying to get college credit. If you're taking an AP class and you get a bad grade in it, then you've defeated the purpose. There's nothing wrong with just taking regular high school courses. That's for people that are trying to do something else with what they're doing with football, basketball, whatever. So I asked that. There's nothing wrong with taking just the general stuff and getting it done. Are you going to
Because there's
graduate
early
early?
enrollment now too, though,
Yes.
especially Power Four. They're wanting the kids to come in January. So when we
Yep.
started realizing that, that's when I was like, okay, let's just make sure that if he has to stack any classes, the first part of senior year, he can stack them so that because nowadays going in January, so you can learn the playbook, these kids are
Yep.
getting to start in September.
Yeah, and it will hurt you if you don't. That's the facts. I was just explaining this to somebody else. That that's the key. If you could show up for spring ball, then you're in the system. They could plan around you. College is different in high school. In college, they're definitely looking to have an idea of who their starters are in the spring. So yes, if you show up in July, you're almost too late for that. You better be an amazing athlete to make that kind of a difference. So graduating early is definitely a plus. Are you on track for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you applying to the schools that have shown you interest?
No.
You need to do that.
Okay.
There's no, they'll cover.
He has.
Oh, okay. 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 Because I got worried for a second.
I really leave it so that he focuses on
Being a stud.
stop. He focuses on his schoolwork and his athletic training, because there's a lot of extra training that goes on. And
Yes.
then as soon as he gets to a point where I see that the school has interest via coach contact,
Yeah.
that's when I turn it over to him. But before
Nice.
that, I'm managing all of it so he can focus on what he needs to focus on. Just like when he gets the triple teams, the other teams hate it. That's like the biggest social media opportunity for me. I think I put one reservations for one don't stand against one of the best teams in Jersey. Boy, I could tell by how many views they were. They were not happy.
Hey, that's okay. And you guys have a good setup. I ran that same thing with my kid. So you guys are ahead of the game with that. A lot of parents don't understand they do too much. And so that hurts the kid, but you guys it's a great balance. And like you said, once it's contact with the coaches, you leave that to him. That's what the coaches want. But everything up until then, you're handling the business side of it. More parents please you gotta understand this stuff. You can't just, if you're waiting on your high school coaches to do it, I promise you it's not gonna get done. If you're waiting on counselors to do it, you've seen the numbers that I've put up on this show about counselors in schools, period, across this country. It's not going to get done.
We were very late to the game because there's no information. It was May of 15th. That's when I started his Twitter. He was a rising junior. And I didn't realize that he should have already, we were behind. We did 9 D1 camps in a 4-week period in the summer because I needed to make sure he had exposure. But because of the lack of information out there, a parent doesn't know they're supposed to do it, just like picking camps. I always tell parents, mega camps are confusing. You should stay away from them. If you get an email invite to a camp and you can unsubscribe. But I always tell parents they should go to a college camp, to the campus where the position specific coach is going to be. That's who you want to see your athlete. Anything outside of that, I just think that it's a waste of money. Plus the colleges, they're very reasonable. They're $50, $75 tops.
Yes. And that's the key. The other thing to it is also the ability to understand that if you are, I don't knock any camp when it comes to the colleges. The key is, do they know that you're coming?
Oh, yes.
If I have to say anything, because I'm gonna tell anybody, go to a college camp over any other camp. That's why would you not go where you're trying to handle business? But the key is, are you showing up as a participant or someone that they know is coming? Because you are treated differently. That's a fact.
So as a sophomore, rising junior, I always say go to pick the schools, go to the camps, make sure you do not leave without the coach following you and you following him on Twitter. You need both. introducing yourself, because what happens is that's when you get your invite back for junior year. This year, he'll be on all those lists. Sophomore year, it's more about getting them to know who you are, because this has become such an exposure game. And as a social media strategist, when we jumped into this, my eyes automatically went. I looked at all these kids that are getting offers, great athletes, but being a great athlete isn't enough. This exposure game is it's off the charts ridiculous. It really isn't. It's almost unfair, the days when you
No,
used
it
to
is
just be
unfair. It's
good.
not almost unfair. It's unfair.
Yeah.
It really is. I so the way I always explain it to people is I actually got another video I'm gonna show here in a minute that says the same thing. So years ago, the best athlete played, period. They found the best athlete. But today, there's too many generations. So the way that this thing is stacked from the top down is now it's the former athletes' kids are always at the top because we've been through it. So it's easy for us to walk our kid in the door. Then right below that are the people that can afford to pay someone like us that can give them that same information to help their kid. That doesn't matter how hard that kid works or how hard the kid below them works. That kid's at an advantage just because. Then you have that space in there. That's the kids that it's life or death. They have no other option. They'll do anything to get where they're going. They're in that next section. And then below that are the ones that they come from a reasonable family. There's food in the fridge. They're not struggling. They're working hard. They're doing everything they can. They're hoping things work out and the rest. It's an unfair system. And that's why the goal is to make it less unfair. Exposure, you get these kids that are amazing athletes in these small towns and they can't figure out why they're being overlooked. And it's because no one is pointing out just the very basics. Like you said, just having a Twitter account and putting your film up. Just putting your information and your film up will change lives. And yet you find that most don't have, they have an Instagram, they have a TikTok, but they don't have an X account where all the coaches are.
X
And
is
so
hard. I had never been on X before, and I'm experienced. That's a X takes a little bit to learn. I had noticed that, and that was this year, January of this year. The top five defensive tackles, they're the same height as him, they're the same weight as him. And I'm just like, what's going on? They go to Georgia, they play ball in California, and their father or brother is part of the NFL. And that's when I was like, wow, okay. And that's when I kind of realized that who is, I mean, unfortunately, that's it. Who is on top, like you had said.
yeah, and again, I'm not knocking nepotism. You know what I'm saying? It works out for my kid. But I always try to make him work hard, and understand that there's people out there that will work hard to take from him. And so it's on him. But I always want to give a level playing field. Over the years, my own family has argued with me because I'm willing, like I've trained other quarterbacks while training my kid, that compete with him for the same job. And I'm like, why would I not want him to compete against the best for the job? I don't want it to just be handed to him. But that's not how the majority look at this system. The people at the top want to keep it that way. They don't want to see anybody else get an opportunity. And I don't want that to be the case. And so I love the fact that you've jumped into this game to kind of do your best to level it out for the people that just don't know. I used to get upset with because there's an NCAA counselor in every single school, every high school in America. Yet no one ever knows who they are. There is all of this assistance that could help. And I don't blame these people because they're overworked already, trying to do what they do. And so the information doesn't trickle down. Coaches no longer coach in high school. They want you to come in, be able to plug and play and help them win championships. As far as going to college, when the schools come, they'll talk for you. But outside of that, it's rare to be somewhere where coaches are making calls. So having a parent see the environment and see a place where assistance will help those that are being overlooked, or not overlooked, because to be honest, they just don't know that they're there. The way the recruiting works if you're on the East Coast, you're going to get more offers than if you're on the West Coast, because there's more schools compact in the East Coast. That's where everything started. And that's what people don't understand. So you see East Coast kids, somebody out of Florida, New York, they have 30 offers. Somebody out of California has 10. There's less schools. And the East Coast only comes to the West Coast for just monsters. And it's the same vice versa. So in every department, even though they make all of this money, what they do is they split up their coaches, and they all have their little regions. They're not going to every state. That's not happening ever. And so a lot of schools will just miss you because they're not coming to you. And so having you out there with what you're trying to do will assist some of these athletes in just the ability to be noticed. So if you don't mind, if you want to, do you mind telling everybody what it is that you're preparing to do?
Sure. So I came into this just to backtrack a little. His father,
Backtrack a little.
I've been on my own. His father passed away when he was 8 months old. There you go.
Okay.
We're backtracking
So-
17 years.
Yeah, right.
So when I got into this, I am coming into this. I prefer to say one income than low income. I'm the sole provider. He's tried to work, but he can't with athletes. So I came into this without the funds to get him where he needed to go. I have found a way. I always protected the bully in school. So I'm going to refer to the recruiting industry as a bully.
Mom,
So
I agree, though.
she's not protecting the bully in school. That's what you just said. No.
oh, you knew what I meant. You're gonna
I
see us
love you
off
guys.
camera.
I
We
love
bicker
you
like a
guys.
couple.
Exactly.
Anyways, I always protected the underdog. Is what I meant to say. Thank you,
Right.
Jackson. So because of that, as whenever I've gotten into anything, I'm a stubborn survivor. So if there's a mountain, I'll find some way to get to the top of it and then over it. And when I do that, I realize that most people are not like me. And I feel really bad. I have friends that I help, his teammates, their parents in the recruiting,
Yeah.
because it's such a monster. From what camps do you go to? Do you pay for this one? What kind of trainer should you have? Should you have an extra trainer? And then with recruiting, I've hired some of these recruiting agencies, and pretty much just to play with them and see what they're doing, because now I'm learning how they're taking advantage. People are asking for $500 to give your kid exposure. So for me, what I did is I started
Well,
kind
one
of
second, not
document.
to interrupt, one
No, go
second. $500 for exposure. And now that you've seen it, tell them what the exposure consists of.
The exposure consists of the film that they've already created, or the pictures that they've already created, being pinned to somebody who has more followers than you, that are probably paid for. I always go and I look, because there's someone out there and he charges $500 for a pinned post and 2 weeks of stories or something. So I went to the site and I looked at how many views it actually had, and it didn't. He's got 400K followers, I think, but the views from his pinned posts do not match that. So
Yep.
it's such a scam out there. So what I've done is I learned what you should have in your bio because of my social media strategy experience. I know algorithms. I know how to get into places. For instance, I'll use Coach Spencer as an example. What I did for a very long time, I think it took me 3 weeks, is I'll put notifications on for the coach that I'm going after, put it that
Yep.
way. And every time they post, I'll go in from his account. Now he doesn't run his account, but he does comment from his account. So
Okay.
I'll go and comment. And then one day he saw the comment. So I followed him, because if a coach is on, if you have 10 seconds with a coach and he just read your comment, he's going to see your follow. He followed
Yep.
back. And then you should always send a coach who follows you. You should send a thank you for following me. I'd love to introduce myself, stats, measurables, awards, just anything that you have. Give him enough information, Huddle link. I have it set up so on the highlight tab, everything on Huddle is screen recorded. You tap highlight and that coach can go through everything.
Love it.
So that right there, what parent would know to do that? Literally, I'm telling you, months of me figuring this out. So what I
No,
did is I I put it on paper. So I
Yeah.
have PDFs. What I don't do anymore, and I think I have closed on the website, I did have higher packages, but I couldn't do what he needs me to do and still take care of that. So I'm kind of
Right.
going into the route of everyone wants to know, how did this kid gain 30 pounds every year from freshman year? Well,
Right. I
I
saw the nutrition and stuff. Yeah.
used to be a bodybuilder, so we're going to go that venue as well. And a lot of parents also don't know, like right now I'm running a, you have all those football fundraisers. So I started a fundraiser, and because we have a following, I'm doing sponsors for the fundraiser itself for a week, and it's pick a number 1 through 100, and whatever number you pick is the amount of money you sponsor him. There's a lot of cute little ideas that parents can come up with, because I'm someone who I don't have extra money. Rob
Right.
Peter to pay Paul, except that Peter's broke now, so I can't rob him anymore.
I love it.
Peter
No,
the
look, everything that you're saying, there's parents out there that are living this life. That's their truth right now. And they're feeling lost. Um, and so I love the way that you explained it and where you came from, because they will get a chance to understand that they don't have to be overwhelmed. There are a few companies that you could deal with that will truly help. Um, but the majority is a money grab. The majority,
Especially
look,
if they say NIL. I can't believe what the people will say about being an NIL agency and what they will promise a family.
it because I've been on this bandwagon now for about a month. Right now, it is the wild wild west when it comes to NIL in the NCAA. There's no requirements.
No.
Anybody can be an agent. There's a lot of teammates that don't get playing time that are turning into agents for their teammates that are currently on the roster playing. And I see nothing wrong with that. But it's just like anything else, when money's involved, the snakes come out. And so, yeah, and all of these parents they know that these contracts are coming, and they get overwhelmed with the idea of it. And so they jump on the first person. And that's why you've got people out here charging 25%, which is insanity.
Really? I haven't seen that. Oh my
Yeah, it's
goodness.
crazy out
Wow.
here. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's not even the worst one. There was one contract where the kid, that not only did they get a piece of his NIL money while he was in college, but because he didn't have someone read the contract, they actually got a piece of his NFL contract as well. And they're in the middle of a court case right now to try to overturn that, and they may not be able to.
We've NIL, we got involved with one company briefly, but I knew I could get out of the contract because I read it.
Yeah.
But they promised a lot of, we'll fly in trainers, but they promised a lot of things that actually I found out you're not allowed to do. Most of the companies have been 10%. Just met a really legitimate guy. They have contacts. They've been doing this for a long time. So they want to share their contracts. My problem is it's not the 10%. That's not too bad. My problem is they want a piece of, and this is what parents have to pay attention to. If you look at Football Mom 2027 on Instagram, I have made a platform for him to land in. My
Okay.
goal is to be the first football mom who gets NIL deals, but that's also where all his stuff is right now. So these companies want 10% of his NIL deals, and that's where I have said absolutely not.
Right.
And there's colleges right now that I'm responsible for his exposure to, and they tell you, oh, if you get the college, we don't get a piece of it. But if you read the fine print, oh, yes, they do. So
Yes, they
I've
do.
decided that we're going to go, I'm capable of handling NIL. There's lawyers that you can hire, and they have flat rates, $2,500, $5,000.
Yeah.
They negotiate for you, they read the fine print for you. And that's really what a family needs if they can't get exposure for their child. There should be, like you said, there's no regulations to it. At least in the NFL, I mean, those agents are like, aren't they? They have law degrees or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like,
Well, you have to at least have so depending on which one it is, you at least have to have an associate's. But most of them have a bachelor's degree. And then normally you have to work with an agency. If not, you have to have intern with an agency. There's a bunch
yeah,
of things, and then you have to actually be licensed by the NFL, NBL, whatever, just to even be an agent. There's a lot
yeah.
that goes into it. But with NIL right now, there's nothing, because it would make you a professional athlete. That's the key. So that's why there's this gray area, is because they don't want to they don't want to allow unions with the NCAA. They don't want to make them employees of the school. So it kind of leaves this gray area of things they cannot do. And that's why they can't put in rules or regulations when it comes to who can be a manager for NIL because of that.
And then you have the
that,
schools that lowball you. If
yes,
it's the parents that are representing,
yes,
then the schools see a parent without anybody, and I'm like, oh, we could offer him 200,000 when literally, I still can't believe the numbers I'm spitting out. The kid's worth 450,000.
but it's a fact. This is again, this it is a business, and the sooner that everyone starts to see that, the better they'll be. Because you're right,
Yes.
the school is definitely going to look out for themselves.
Yeah.
They've turned, like I said, they've turned their recruiting departments into corporations because they want to be able to claim taxes and everything else on everything that they do. And so, as a company, they're trying to be profitable, and so they're going to make the best, cheapest deals possible. And when they
Yep.
see a parent come in, that's exactly what they do. If they can tell that the parent doesn't know what they're doing, they are going to give your kid the worst contract.
And it is, like you say, it's a business. I've gotten more confidence. I faced a lot of obstacles I'm a girl in a boys club, and I'll
Right.
fight anyone on that comment. But um, running it like a business has changed the game for me. I've actually gone into a coach and said, listen, are you going to invite him for a visit, or like, should we move on? And I would have never done that before,
Right.
except that I've dealt with high caliber coaches who have actually ghosted me for about 2 days, come back and said, yes, we want him. Or unfortunately, it's not a no, it's unfortunately, we have 3 people on the board above him. And I
Right.
respect those
Right.
coaches, because I'm not sure if coaches realize, for me, they're going to take my young man and they're going to be a mentor. They're going to finish
Yes.
raising my son. So
Yes.
I'm vetting coaches probably more than they're vetting his athletic ability.
But that's how it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
That is how it's supposed to be.
They can control
Um,
that.
yes, absolutely. Man, I could talk to you guys all day. I got to get to the rest of this show though. No, interesting for sure. Come back on. Like let's talk again as you guys are moving through this whole thing. I'll definitely be watching, have my team watching, but as you guys are navigating this thing and get into this summer of his junior year and start making some moves. I want to have you guys back on the show and let's talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
All right, man. I appreciate having you guys on the show, and we'll talk again. Matter of
Thank you
fact,
so
I'll
much.
reach out to you guys at the end of this.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
All right. Bye. Hey, that's Jackson and Tanya Pacheco. Look, we're going to talk again because there's so much more. Like you can hear all of the work that she's put in, and the information that they've gone into finding and the things of getting done. And I know she knows what she's talking about because I hear everything that she's saying and she's on track. I didn't hear anything that I thought she didn't have the right information on. She's absolutely correct. And so I definitely want to touch base with them again, and because it's good for you guys. It's always what's best for the Army, right? So I want to make sure that you parents out there are getting this information from people that are involved in it currently. So I promise you guys, I'm gonna have them back on the show because I can tell you right now that could turn into a 2-hour just me and them just getting into this thing because they've really delved into it and done the homework. Don't make the mistakes that she's telling you, like she's telling you not to do them. Read those contracts. Read that small print. Don't trust anything that comes out of anyone's mouth. When they say they won't do something, read the contract. I'm telling you, don't sleep on the information that was just given to you. She's already walked the path. So she's in there, right? She's in the middle of that battle and she's giving you nuggets so you don't have to do as much work to already have an understanding. And she is starting her own thing once he's off to school. So then I'll make sure to start giving out her information when she's ready for that. So that you guys can reach out to her when it comes to your social media and stuff like that, and just having a plan of attack about how to be noticed and how to do what you do. Because she's right. There are people out there that sell exposure, and that exposure is nonsense. That's why I always tell you can't buy your way onto the Who's Up Next show or into anything with Complete College Prospects because we don't do that. When it comes to exposure is one of those things that it has an actual value. You got to do some stuff. So I love everything they're doing over there. Let's jump back into the rest of this. let's go into attachment. I wanted to talk about. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go into this one. I want to talk about this attachment thing and your ability to understand that loyalty. It's gonna. Sometimes these videos you think it's talking about love, but it's not. It can be looked at differently. And I want it to be about schools and business. And I want you to look at this thing from being at your team, what team you should be on, when and where, and whether you should move on to something better.
Have attachment problem.
Right.
We thinking people are supposed to be with us for the rest of our life. Hell no. Listen, the reset button is A-OK. If shit ain't going good, hit the reset button. Change your surroundings. Change everything that you're doing, because maybe that's just God telling you, look, you're just going down the wrong path.
Look, if you had a program and that team doesn't fit, this is kind of what she was talking about with the recruiting. If you go somewhere, you go to look, and if something just doesn't click, it's time to go somewhere else. If that's your only option, then it's your only option, and you got to see what you got to do. But if you have options, then you got to go. You got to look at the things and see where you fit. And when you're with a program, sometimes you start with a team and a coaching change happens, or you get there and then you find out it's just not what you thought it was. It's okay to say, you know what, we're gonna sever ties. I wish the best for you. I'm gonna go to another program. That's high school, that's youth. I don't care. Like, a lot of people will give you a hard time and be like, well, we can't believe you're leaving. I know a youth program right now that gave kids a hard time about going to another team, try to guilt trip parents. And it's like, you can't guilt trip people. People have a right to go play wherever they want to. And see, here's the problem. When you coach or you have an organization, or you are a high school or a college, if you don't, the time to try to keep people is when they're with you already. When they're with you, you got to take the time to have some understanding in that moment. It's too late when they already start looking to go somewhere else, because when you try to correct it and say, well, we're going to do better, not everybody wants to waste time. See, time is the thing that you don't get back, right? Every second, I've told you before over the years of doing this show, when I come in here, this is the time that I'll never get back in my life. So God forbid, but if I walk out the door and pass away, I should be able to say that the last thing I did, I gave time to something that was important to me, that I didn't mind giving my last minutes, my last seconds to. And I never would. When I leave this show, what I give here, I would never, no matter what happens, I would never regret that if this was my last seconds, they were the best last seconds. That's how it should feel when you're with your program, with your school, whatever it is you're doing, right? You should feel like it's not wasting time. Even if you're not playing, you should still be learning, right? You shouldn't be forgotten. If you and your coaches don't mix, then something's got to give, because that's not going to change. If a school is not an appropriate fit, if it's not a fit today, it's not going to be a fit tomorrow. But what can happen is wasted time. When my son got to college, it wasn't a perfect fit because they had a head coaching change after he signed. And then nonsense occurred, and then they fixed it, and they guaranteed him. He finished the year as the starter. They guaranteed it was his team for as long as he wanted to stay at the school, and he was still like, no, I got to go. It was great that they was offering everything that he wanted, everything that he could ask for, they was offering. Here you go. He was like, I got to go, because the fit isn't the fit. What they believed in, the mission, wasn't his mission. They fundamentally didn't agree. So it didn't matter that they could give everything at this moment. There was a difference that he had to go somewhere else and then do it all over again, win all over again, try to get the job all over again. But he would rather do that than, on the philosophy standpoint, not have the same belief. And so I'm telling you, don't get caught up in the traps. As human beings, we get comfortable in any situation. And once we get comfortable, it's hard for us to separate ourselves from comfortability. We will stay in a bad situation because we think we know the ins and outs of that bad situation. But really, we need to leave and go with uncertainty. So remember that. Remember that. All right, let's roll. Hey, remember, it is what it is. If you like the show, hit that button, subscribe to the damn show. Don't be greedy, share with your friends. It's the Who's Up Next show. We always accepting people into the army. And that, I love it. Let's go Watchtower, Kevin Moses.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's up next? Tell me to the set like low, hard jump. Name up on the board, one shot, big stunt. From the watchtower view, I see them all lined up. Diamonds in the dust, to the right one shined up. They say, Kevin Moses, you a long shot kid. How they chant that name every time that I skip. This don't miss, wrist locked in. Hit after hit, yeah, I live that script. From the watchtower, I keep on finding those diamonds in the rough still shining. Kevin Moses just don't miss. Keep shining, young star like this. From the watchtower, I keep on finding little sparks that the world still blinded. Kevin Moses just don't miss. Keep shining, young star like this. Hey, phones in the crowd, they stay cool, still sway. Grandma in the kitchen, same groove, same day. Saying, baby, if it glow, they gon' feel that flame. So I drop one song, whole block know my name. How they call the show just to catch my wave. Every underdog dream that I tried to save. I see one kid, notebook, head down, shy. I tell him, look up, that's your name in the sky. From the watchtower, I keep on finding those diamonds in the rough still shine. Kevin Moses just don't miss. Keep shining, young star like this. From the watchtower, I keep on finding little sparks that the world still blind. Kevin Moses just don't miss. Keep shining, young star like this. Hands up high if you feel that fire. Keep shining, young star. One time for the late night rider. From the watchtower. Every new turn to one, you're higher. Stay bright, go high. Every rough stone turn to sapphire. From the watchtower, I keep on finding those diamonds in the rough still shining. Kevin Moses just don't miss. Keep shining, young star like this. From the watchtower, I keep on finding little sparks that the world still blinding. Kevin Moses just don't miss. Keep shining, young star like this. Keep shining, young star like this.
Welcome back. That's Watchtower. Kevin Moses out there finding those diamonds. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep doing that. He's always on the grind. He's always on the hunt. Go follow him at Kevin Moses Promotions. I'm telling you right now, he's going to get you on the show. When these guys, they don't sell exposure. When you see Kevin, when you see Mark, they're you know what I'm saying? They're out there truly trying to find you guys and put you on the scene with us and get you some exposure. You can't pay for it. This is one of those things that you either a member of Complete College Prospects that'll get you in, or one of these men are out there finding you and bringing you and putting you in front of my team's eyeballs. And then, the rest is what it is. Once you part of the Army, you part of the Army. And then once we show you a film or anything, you hit me up. I'll get you on for an interview. If we put you on the show in any capacity with your film, all you got to do is send a message. I'm going to lock you in. The team going to get you on for an interview. And we'll, get you the exposure you're looking for. Again, when it comes to the Who's Up Next show, I've seen offers come from people on this show. I've seen job offers come from coaches on this show. I've seen people get invited to play on travel teams from being on the show. The right people watch the show. It's just that simple. Watch it, listen to it, all kinds of stuff. I know some coaches that what they do is listen. They don't get a chance to watch it, but they listen to it when it streams afterwards, after it's recorded live. So there you go. Let's keep it moving. Hey man, this is about baboons, but let's pay attention to this one. I think a lot of us need to see this.
Nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. Mm-hmm. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out of the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. The bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboons. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
What a story, right, that applies to life, that sometimes we hang on to things that can trap us, and it's from somebody else to be so easy just to let go. Like, I don't want to be that baboon, right? But sometimes we are, because we can't let go of things that are not making our life the way it should be.
And I would challenge you all to think about, what are you holding on to that you need to let go of, that's trapping you from being at your very best?
Listen, we all have done it. We've all done it, right? You have to, if you're not accomplishing the goals that you want when it comes to competing for a position or playing in your program, if you're a coach and you're not winning, whatever it is, right? Maybe you need to change what you think is your foundation. Maybe as an athlete, you need to train a little bit harder, or maybe you need to change the way you perceive the game. As a coach, maybe you need to change. When we get too rigid and we get too stuck, we tend to keep things that hinder us from having an easier path towards what we're chasing. When Complete College Prospects started as a company, as an idea, the goal was to come in and do a better job than those that are doing it right now, but do the same job. And because why do anything different, but do it better, right? Over the years, what we discovered is, if we do that, no matter what, if you just stick to the script, then inevitably you're going to do the same bad job that everyone else does. And then people are going to fall through the cracks. People are going to be missed. Things are not going to be taken care of. But if you change, if you do better, if you don't stick to the script, if you alter the way that you see things, then it will get better. You'll be able to do better. You'll be able to help more people. And so we evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved into this thing that exists today, that is extraordinary. Over the last week, 22 systems were upgraded for simulators taken to just a crazy level, to help parents and kids and educators to achieve, right? And just the whole system is better. You see the Who's Up Next show and the evolution, Trappium and the evolution, and just everything that we attempt to do. Complete College Prospect disrupts the system. That's the facts. It's the way it's built. It's built to disrupt the system. It's built to counter everything. Every negative that Tanya had about the way the system works, Complete College Prospects actually does the opposite, to overcome all of those things for everyone. And that's because we didn't hold on to the beliefs that it can only be done one way. And that's how you have to do it. There's always another way to get to where you're trying to go. The question is, can you let go of the things that are holding you back from getting to those places? I always say, I heard it once and now I always use it, that the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. Fear stops us in our tracks from accomplishing amazing things. And that's the facts. And so we've got to be able to let go of the things that hinder us from going and doing the things that we want to do. Definitely. Hey, we got Coast to Coast with Mark Gibson. He had 3 great athletes on here. I don't know how he found them, but they're amazing. Like they all of these young ladies are either, one's a freshman, I think, and she's racking up crazy numbers. One has the most points in the history in her state, McDonald's All-American. Another one is on the same track. Like these outstanding young women. Let's go, Coast to Coast, Mark Gibson.
Yeah. From the baseline to the logo. You know the name. Mark Gibson, go coast to coast. If you got skill, he'll find it out. Day after day, that's the Gibson way. Blowing the names on the Who's Up Next show. Mark Gibson, go coast to coast. If you got heart, then let it show. Day after day, that's the Gibson way. If you got diamond, he gon' know. From the garbage out to the packed out stands. If you hustle on the hardwood, he got eyes on the line. From the east side jails to the west side court, seeking up the never sitting like a highlight sport. Spin move, step back, crowd go nuts. He already seen the tape, he don't lead no lut. If he running in the dark, running extra drills, he gon' pull up, sit back, say I like that skill. Mark Gibson, go coast to coast, coast to coast. If you got skill, he'll find you though. Day after day, that's the Gibson way, blowing them names taped up shoes to the city park star on the evening news. If you like him in, running lines all summer, he gon' pull your clip, make it far rank number from the back boy gang to the shot clock buzz. Every sleeper in the gym, yeah, you know who was. If you want that shine, that'll bring that fire, 'cause Mark Gibson now, he'll build a future empire. Mark Gibson go coast to coast, coast to coast. If you got skill, he'll find it over. Day after day, that's the Gibson way, blowing them names on the Who's Up Next show. Mark Gibson go coast to coast, coast to coast. If you got heart, then let it show. Day after day, that's the Gibson way. If you got game, then he gon' know. He gon' know.
Welcome back. That's Mark Gibson, Coast to Coast. Like I said, amazing young athletes. It makes me happy to be able to do what we do. No different than 5 seconds of exposure somewhere else. When you come on the Who's Up Next show or do anything with Complete College Prospect, we give you exposure. Like I think that interview might have been almost an hour long, and I never mind that, because that's the point. That the whole point is to have these athletes and their parents and these educators and these coaches on the show, and to give them the space and the time to be seen and get known, and to have the world interact with them in a way that they feel like they kind of know them, got a little investment in them. And so this is how exposure is actually supposed to work. That's how the thing is supposed to be. And so we keep it appropriate. So I love the athletes that these men are out here finding. And I'm gonna keep doing exactly what we do when we put them up there. Let's go with this Dominate video, because I think he's right about how he went with his kids. Both are in the NFL right now. Both are doing amazing right now. And some people are going to disagree, but I'm not one of them. I actually preach this to parents all the time.
They played 25%. What's built would always outlast what's born. Let me say it again. What's built will always outlast what's born. In the 70s, the best athlete made it. Nowadays, you got guys who are not as good as that athlete, but they put in that work, they're taking their jobs. You got to put that work in. I train my kids not to be competitive, to dominate. But I try to instill the good things in my kids, to tell them how to think, how to turn them into, lack of a better term, monsters, Doberman pinchers. So we go out there, we dominate kids. Don't teach your kids how to compete. Don't be competitive. Dominate them. If you don't dominate them, you ain't doing it right. Again, we're talking about trying to be number one in the world, not number two. Don't do swimming.
Listen, if you're competing, those days are done, right? Competing is great. Competing means that we're similar. We're the same. That on any day, maybe I win, maybe you win. But these coaches today, these college coaches, they're looking for dominance. And so you've got to be devastating at what you do. These young men and women that Mark and Kevin are putting up, the numbers that they are putting up are crazy. One young lady, I think, had like 5,600 points on her high school career. Period. Like, I'm telling you, you've got to go out and dominate, because when you dominate, it takes away any uneasiness that a coach has to have about, well, is that the one, or are we missing somebody else? No, I'm the only one. I'm the only choice. For you parents that are looking at a way to get your kid into college early, there you go, dominate. Look at the numbers for your position. The one thing I liked about everything that Ms. Pacheco said was that she was like, I looked up the numbers, right? This is the numbers he needs to be elite. She's doing the research, and then that's the goal. The goal isn't just go to college. The goal is, okay, to get to this level, we've got to put these numbers up. We've got to do this. So what she did was she took a map that was blank and then built the map out of the blank page and put the steps in. Oh, we want to get to this weight at this time and this weight at this time. We want to have this speed. We want to have this many tackles. We want to have this many this. We want to do that. She built the road that they were going to take from nothing. This is what you have to do. If you're worried about whether you're going to go to college or not, and you're like, well, if I get good grades, that's not enough. That's not enough. That's not even actually in the plan. You need a 2.3 to play in the NCAA. Realistically, grades are not worrying about the grades are not going to be the number one thing to get you into college. But the stats will, plus the grades, plus some measurables. You've got to go out there and see what your competition is. What do these schools like? What size do they prefer in your position? How fast do you have to be? How high do you have to jump? What does your percentage need to be? How is your completions? How are your free throws? How are your at-bats? Whatever it is, you've got to figure out what the system is accepting today. Think about it like this in the world of movies. If you see a hit movie come out today and it makes 800 million, let's say $800 million. What you can guarantee is over the next 3 years, you're going to see 30 more movies similar to that movie. Because they all know that there's the formula that we need to follow. They don't fight it. And the last one in that bunch that gets it out isn't going to make any money because they were last and everybody is burnt out. The system is always changing. The key is, what does the system want today? That's the key. But this stuff doesn't happen for free. You have to get out there and learn. You have to get out there and do the work. All this it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you believe that it's just magically going to happen, you are magically going to be disappointed. That's the facts. Don't tell me that you're a single parent, you don't have time. You just heard this young lady say that she's handling it. Don't say that you don't have time, you have time. If you have an hour to watch an hour-long TV show, you could take 30 minutes of that and put in the work. And kids, stop relying just on your parents. You got to do some of this too. Post on your social media. You'll put up 50 Instagrams, you know what I'm saying? You'll add to your story 50 times today, but you won't go to X and put up your highlight reel. You will make sure you choreograph a dance that you made up to a song that's irrelevant, but you won't go over to your X account and make sure that you got a good bio in there so coaches know how to contact you. The work has to be done. I want you to have your future. I want you to reach your dreams. But we can't want it more than you want it. That's a fact. That's a fact. Time is always short. And for you guys that weren't with us at the beginning of the show, I'm going to run these back because the guerrilla army lost 2 athletes, 17-year-olds, over this last week. And I felt a certain way at the beginning of the show because I was sad about the situation. And although I'm still sad about the situation, these 2 young athletes led the way. They were pillars of their community. They worked hard to get exposure for themselves. They were trying to make a difference in their own lives. They weren't waiting for life to happen to them. They were happening to their life. And sadly, they will never get a chance to make it to where they were trying to go. But up until the last moment, they never stopped fighting to get there. And some of you need to take a note from them. This first one's Aaliyah Jones. We want to remember her, young athlete, young hooper out of Ohio. She will be missed, but she will never be forgotten.
I was watching film of you, thinking, damn, they will never see this again. Yeah. Whole gym quiet in my phone, like heart heavy. Can't press play, can't. Yeah, 17, but you play grown. Lay the ball up like a love song. From Akron where the cold hit bones, you was heat in a packed out home. On your way to play with the legends who ain't here, but they wait in the heavens. I can see you crossing over with them. You was chasing, now you run with them. The whole city crying in the bleachers, candles on the curb, hand painted t-shirts. every teacher say your name and they voice get weaker.
Shayla, my life.
You gon' live through us, you still shine bright.
Still shine. Shayla, steady crying.
Can't sleep at night, but we hold your number up to the sky. Your family mourning, cause their baby's gone. Try to be strong, but the pain too strong. Your teammates.
That was for Shayla Jones. Again, she's gone, but she will never be forgotten. Amazing young lady, and our hearts go out to her family and her friends and her community and her teammates. And this next one, Jake Harrison, the team been talking to his family. And when I got word, I've had him on my show. I've had him in Trapaya Magazine. Amazing young man. His dedication to making sure that he got where he was trying to go, second to none. I spent the last week playing back every single message that this kid sent me over 5, 6, 7, 8 months, just trying to get me to get him on the show, and willing to do any and everything that I asked in order to prep for the show. And just amazing young man. Father, it's his mom, his dad, his brother, but his brother was a hooper as well. And again, the circumstances of him being taken by a driver as a pedestrian is devastating to me. But the fact that his brother, after being a hooper, became a first responder, which meant he dedicated his life to helping other people, was the first one on the scene and found his brother before he even knew it was his brother. And so our hearts go out to him and the family. I want you guys to know that it was my pleasure to speak with your kid. I look back and he was a good young man. He's a good young man and an amazing hooper. You guys know how I felt about his game. His game was nasty and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And just, I took a lot of pleasure in watching him do what he did. And especially in just the amount of times that this kid posted on X every day. This kid was putting up film and like he would put it on repeat all the time to make sure that everything was being seen, everything was being done so he could try to get to his dreams. He was dedicated to it. My guy. Let's go, Jake Harris.
Picked up this pen, thought I'd write about loss. Thought I'd talk about sirens, about tires, about cars. But the ink keeps drifting. Back to living rooms and shoes by the door, to you laughing in the kitchen, dropping crumbs on the floor. See your mom still sets 2 plates, then stares for a while. Talks to your picture on the fridge, swears it answers with a smile. Your room still got that smell, sweat, soap, and old game day air. Trophy dust on the dresser, your jersey on the chair. Your big brother, man, he saw what nobody should see. He was the first to find you, now that vision runs free. But one day it'll fade, get chased to court in his mind by all those one-on-one battles. Backing down from the 3-point line.
Jake, I thought this song would be about you gone, but it's all about the love that keeps you living on. Every story that they tell keeps you in the room. Every heartbeat in this house still beats for you. Jake, your name don't echo like an empty sound. Stitch in the family and stitched in the ground.
You left in a moment, but look what you gave. Then your brother and your father, that's your legacy engraved. Your dad still sits in the stands of his mind. 2 boys on the court, same face, different times. He saw tomorrow every time you both took that lane. 2 shadows on the asphalt, cutting right through the rain. He still can't say you were, he keeps saying you are. Like if he holds a tense tight, he can pull you from the car. In his mirror, he sees both of you lacing up tight. Same shoulder, same jawline, same fight under light. He talks to your brother about screens and space, about pace, about guarding his place. But between those tips, there's a tremble he hides, cause when he watches your brother, he sees you in his stride.
Jake, I thought this song would be about you gone, but it's all about the love that keeps you living on. Every story that they tell keeps you in the room. Every heartbeat in this house still beats for you. Jake, your name don't echo like an empty sound. It's stitched in the family, it's stitched in the ground. You left in a moment, but look what you gave. Then your brother and your father, that's your legacy engraved.
One day that crash scene blurs at the edge. place, by the driveway, by the net, by the hedge, by your brother yelling check, sweat burning his eyes, by your dad on the porch, hands clasped looking sky. It's not that they forget you, it's that the pain learns to bend. Grief turns into stories, stories never end. So I write you in present tense right here in this song, cause love keeps shouting your name long after you're gone.
Jake, I thought this song would be about you gone, but it's all about the love that keeps you living on. Every story that they tell keeps you in the room. Every heartbeat in this house still beats for you.
Jake, your name don't echo like an empty sound. In the family is stitched in the ground. You left in a moment, but look what you gave. And your brother and your father, that's your legacy engraved.
Welcome back to the Who's Up Next show. Excuse me. That's the shout out to Jake Harrison and Shayla Jones. And I can't think of another way I started the show with them. I wanted to end the show with them. They've been on my mind all week. They were on my mind the entire show. Like I said, the loss of these two athletes has definitely made me understand that what we do as a company and what I do here on this show is important. We never know when the lives that we intersect, that may be the memory that the parents or the kids or whoever the community has to live on, is this one interaction with me. And so I hope that I did you guys justice for your kids. The songs are originals. That's all we do on the show now. I had them created for the kids. So I will make sure to get those out to you guys. Thank you. For the honor of doing that for your families. Just know that it means something to me, and that I will never forget the opportunity to do it, and with Jake, the opportunity to have had the interaction with your kid. He was a great young man. If his brother or you guys ever need to talk or whatever, you know how to get a hold of the big fella. And I'm always an ear. We can watch some film and talk about him. I got a couple of funny messages between me and him, just in the scheme of things. But yeah, hey, look, I love what I do. I love what I do. I love why I do it. I love the privilege that you guys give me to do it. I would never want to be anywhere else on a Sunday than right here where I am. I'm blessed in that. This seat is a blessed seat. Not everyone gets this opportunity to change lives, to make a difference. So I appreciate the Army for giving me that. We're going to be back next Sunday. We're going to pick it up a little bit more and continue to make the moves in honor of these athletes that have come before and the ones that are still here and the ones that are not, and help move the next generation of athletes towards their dreams. The guerrilla army won't stop. We're going to make sure that the level playing field happens and that success happens for all these athletes and their families. So again, I love you guys. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I'm the big fella, and I'm out.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the show.